can't believe I've made it to a second video. Welcome back, everyone. I'm going to be using this book today to create a look. This is The Beauty of Color by Iman and T.O. Williams. So I bought this book a couple years ago at a thrift store. I saw the cover and I was in awe. I needed it, I bought it. And then I kind of forgot about it. But today we're going to use it to create a look. Did I show you what look I'm doing yet? I don't know. You'll wait. This book was published in 2005. That puts me in grade 5, about 10 years old. There are a lot of other makeup artists featured in this book. It's a great collaboration and I can't wait to see how this turns out. This book has beautiful images. I'll put some on the screen so you guys can see as well. Just looking at the table of contents, we have skincare, how to create a flawless canvas, skin type, cleansing, moisturizing, 101, what you really need, nothing more. Power tools, foundation, concealer, powder, bronzer, blush, eyebrows, eyeshadow, eyeliner, eyelashes, lips, and the Fab Four. We have celeb sightings, indulgence in stargazing. The list of celebrities on here is amazing. Most wanted makeovers at every age, teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. And red carpet ready, my secret tips, well, not mine, for ruling the red carpet. I flipped through to skin type. It has a nice little introduction to skin. It talks about women of color and the types of skin that we have. It talks about the changes your skin will go through, and am normal dry. Most people think I'm oily. I am not. I just fake it. Dry skin. Dry skin, ways to tell you have it. Does your skin feel itchy or tight, especially after cleansing? I am using an appropriate cleanser for my skin, so I do not feel tight. Do you have rough, flaky, or red patches? Now, I don't. I can get rough and flaky on my chin area if I do not moisturize my skin appropriately. Are you sensitive to the sun, wind, and cold? The cold for sure. Your complexion look dull? It can. I know with my dry skin, I can look a little bit grayish sometimes. I missed one. Did you make it through adolescence with no acne? I did. Okay, normal skin. Or my complexion is naturally flawless. Is your skin tone even without any lighter or darker areas? I mean, no. In a nutshell, this one says, lucky you. This book, there's some jokes in here. There's some jokes in here. It's a little shady sometimes too. I'm going to skip through the skincare section. My skin's already prepped. I might put a little bit of an oil on, but we're gonna get mostly into the makeup. We've made it to Makeup 101. So we're talking about tools here. Foundation. Okay. It has a little bit of a story. Complexion perfection if you have, and here's a list: hyperpigmented skin or acne scars, minor spots you'd like to keep mum, good skin but want extra polish, oily or acne prone skin, combination skin, or the desire to fake a radiant "my night was better than yours" glow. I love this. I'm going for good skin but want extra polish with a little bit of the desire to fake a radiant "my night was better than yours" glow. For good skin but want extra polish, you want a sheer liquid foundation or tinted moisturizer. Either provides a light coverage with just a hint of a tint. The desire to fake a radiant my night was better than yours glow. You must use iridescent illuminating liquids. They don't hide, they highlight, dot, and blend along cheekbones and bridge of nose, forehead, and chin. So it mentions using a flat foundation brush, like those old school paintbrush type foundation brushes. I'm about to do that. It does mention using these guys and to use one wet if you want a dewy look. So I'm going to use the wedge, even though I fully have other modern beauty sponges, but oh, it also didn't mention anything about primers, so we're not using one. You hear this wind? Dot and blend along cheekbones, forehead, and chin. I think this whole apartment building is just gonna blow away. I don't think I'm glowy enough, so I'm gonna use Goldgasm. Let's move on to concealer. Okay, here's how to cover up. Under eye circles. First, make sure you're facing the light source. Masking under eye circle calls for full coverage, so use a cream concealer or foundation stick. I'm going to use the Danessa Myricks Vision Cream Cover in the color N10 as my concealer. Didn't say if I should use the brush to blend it, but it says to blend it, so I'm gonna blend it. I'm gonna use whatever's left on my brush on my eyelids, because no product wasted. I don't know why I'm so surprised I have these, because I use them on clients. So I'm here acting like everybody gets a beauty blender. Nah. It didn't say anything about like highlighting your forehead with your concealer and all that, so I'm not doing that. Now that we're done with concealer, moving on to powder. I'm gonna use a combination of translucent powder and an illuminating powder, and following the same rules with illuminating with a liquid or cream, I'm going to use with the powder. So highlighting my cheekbones, bridge of my nose, all that good stuff. I'm going to use the Hourglass Veil powder. Mostly right in the center and under my eyes. So I'm gonna use the Laura Mercier Glow Setting Powder to set, but also highlight. So I'm gonna use this fluffy brush and kind of just adjust it like this. So we're done with powder, I think. Bronzer. Witness the power of bronze skin. Beyonce, dewy, shimmering, glowing in a Crazy in Love video. Okay, it's a little too wordy. Okay, bronzer tips. First, make sure your face is clean, dry, and matte. Well, I mean, it's set with powder. Also, want a dewy look? Dab a sheer bronzer over a gel blush or blend a bronze highlighting stick along your cheekbones. I don't have that. So let's talk about what it says for very dark skin and blush. Many women with deep coloring think it's impossible to get a natural looking flush. Not true. Deep berries, velvety crimson, and gold infused plums look absolutely stunning. That reminds me of the first blush I ever bought at MAC, which I think was Love Thing. I knew back then, 10 years ago, that was the color. And I just threw it out last year. Now that I've done both of those blushes, I guess I have to go back to bronzer since it said to do it after. I'm gonna use this big old fluffy brush and the Charlotte Tilbury airbrush bronzer. I'm not sure if this is dark enough. Ooh, shoot, powdery. I don't think this is gonna work. Someone actually told me to try this and I was like, it's not dark enough. And then it showed up at my door. So it didn't just show up at my door. But I'm gonna try it, see if it does anything. What did it say about not only visible, but the rosy bronze combination gives an impossibly sexy slight sunburn look. Okay. I mean, it definitely added some color there. Let's try some over here. Yeah, I don't know. Let me read this introduction to eyebrows for you. Perfectly arched brows can work all sorts of magic on your face. Miraculously, your eyes will look bigger and brighter, your cheekbones more defined, your face thinner. In fact, the only good thing, can I read? In fact, the only thing good brows won't do for you is your taxes. Listen. But as Ugg boots in the Matrix sequels have proven, it is entirely possible to get too much of a good thing. Tweezing is no exception. It's an addiction, and overdosing can make you look like, well, a hoochie. Oops, was that indelicate? I'd suggest you get them professionally waxed or plucked for the first time to establish the shape. Then you can take matters into your own hand. I'm dead. Said overdosing can make you look like a hoochie. I didn't write this. It talks about fill them up. If your brow hairs are sparse or you've been too enthusiastic with the tweezers, you'll need to fill them in. The brows in this book are pretty thin. Like the thick brow, what they call the Bush twins, is thin. Hello, eyebrows? Let's move on. Shadow. Okay, so I have to skip through to the last page where my look is. I actually have no issue with using no matte colors in my makeup look, so this is like right up my alley. With eyeliner, without eyeliner. Sultry. Let me just flip through these pages since I've done my eyeshadow according to the look that I'm doing. Eyelashes, which I'm gonna do next. I think I missed a step. It says just saw some. Oh, highlight the brow bone with a pearl hue. I'm just gonna use the Laura Mercier powder that I used on my cheeks earlier. I'm gonna add shimmer. I'm gonna use the Pop shade from the Rock Chick palette. Now for the mouth, sipping cocktails and making out all night finish. I didn't do mascara yet. Now that I have loads of mascara on, even though it probably doesn't look like it, I do. For my lips, Pillow Talk Intense. I'm not gonna do the coral color. I don't really have one that I like, unfortunately. And then I'm gonna do a clear gloss on top. Okay, she is finished. One more time. I love doing that. Is that like my thing? I did use setting spray, even though the book does not mention setting spray. I had to, because my skin just needs a little bit of hydration on top. Now that I've finished the look, I can kind of relax, and I want to read a piece of her introduction, but this experience would prove to be the exception in the modeling industry. As I started working professionally for high-end magazines, I was subjected time and time again to the perplexing question from makeup artists, did you bring your own foundation? It was a question never asked of my Caucasian counterparts. Photo after photo of me with disastrous skin tone made me realize that I had to learn the art of base myself. This is decades ago, okay? And this still seems to be an issue. I never had a makeup artist do my makeup at a fashion show. I always did my own. In fact, the celebrated models of my generation were a diverse group of global beauties. She goes on to say, I needed to do something as much for myself, for the global girls, as much for myself as for all the global girls I knew. I decided to launch Iman Cosmetics. I'm a little bit emotional about this, and I don't know why. It's embarrassing. Unfortunately, in 2020, this seems to still be an issue. I've had models, black models come to set, and also very, very fair models come to set with their foundation, because in the past, so many artists don't have the colors. That is one thing that I've set out in my personal, not my personal kit, in my kit, that I would like to have a color for everybody. I like people to be wowed by color matches because I know how it feels. So many brands until this day do not carry my color. We saw earlier with that bronzer that didn't work, and so many brands do not have a bronzer for my skin tone. And it's a little bit frustrating. It's like I want to just follow along with something and not have to become a chemist. I mean, as a makeup artist, it's not an issue for me to do that. It's fun to make my own things, but should I have to? Child, I don't know. Thanks for coming back to watch one of my videos. I now know that I have a schedule, which is going to be Thursday evenings, I think. I really hope this one was enjoyable for you, because I loved it. All right, let me just go and do something else.